Hey guys, this is Dr. Devin Shea from Align Life Chiropractic and Wellness, and today I'm going to show you how to DIY your home workstation. Let's keep you in a good upright posture. Alright guys, so my inspiration for this video really has come in the last few weeks when so many of us during shelter in place have taken our previously really well designed and ergonomically set up workspaces, and now we're not working there anymore. We're working from home. And so people are coming in with a lot of upper back stiffness, some neck pain, headaches, radiating pain. Keep in mind that all of this has to do with the fact that what we do accumulates and what we do matters in regards to how we maintain the posture and our spinal health. So when I look at people at home, oftentimes our work has sent us home with a laptop to be able to do our jobs from, which is great because it can make it so we can keep working. And if you have your job, my gosh, you've got to be grateful to be still employed at this point, which is fantastic. However, we don't want this to become our new normal, and we definitely don't want this to become a new or exacerbating an underlying condition that we have. So I've sort of mocked up a desk space here. I've got like an old desk here, and then my laptop. So what we typically find for people, as you guys have known, and what you see all the time, is that we oftentimes fall into these forward flex positions. Why is this a problem? Well, remember, your spine, which is what is the main structural support of your torso and your head, it houses and protects the spinal cord. The spinal cord is what connects your brain to the rest of your body. So when your body's working well, your brain is moving energy effectively along the spinal cord, shooting that energy out across the nerves, and then those nerves send that energy into your glands, organs, muscles, tissues, bones. All of those guys on the external part of your body are totally dependent on getting that energy from the brain through your spine first. So if we spend a lot of time in a forward flex position and we're hunched, remember what's happening in that environment is your spinal cord is being stretched. Think of it like if you take a rubber band and you were to separate it out and put tension through it, that rubber band becomes tight and thin. And when you have a tight and thin spinal cord, energy does not move well along that type of environment. So what that does is it shuts down energy to our whole body. Now our whole body is not working the way that it's designed, and accordingly we lower our overall health. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that resonates with you guys. So when we're spending time in these positions, this is putting us into a lowered state of health overall. To work ourselves out of this, the things that I want us to focus on, number one, from a ground up approach, our feet are going to be flat on the floor, just like you were squatting with your feet about shoulder width apart. Our hips are going to be neutral at about a 90-degree angle between our legs and our torso. Shoulders are going to be back, head is going to be back, everything's going to be aligned. Now, the problem here is the laptop. The laptop ends up being the main concern. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bring up the height of this monitor to essentially at my eye level. So if I've got my head looking straight neutral and I'm looking out, I should be able to see about the top of my monitor or as high up as the middle of the monitor. Okay, that would be ideal version. Now, as you can tell, the problem with this when we come to the discussion of a laptop is look at my wrist position if I'm trying to type. You guys have heard of carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome means that we're putting a lot of stress on the wrist bones and for the median nerve that runs right through this structure called a retinaculum right at the base of the wrist here. And if we put our wrists like this, almost like a T-Rex arm situation, then we end up having a lot of stress here and we potentially start getting some numbness or tingling into the hand. So we want to avoid this as much as possible. So that being said, we're going to have to choose something that we're going to have to sacrifice. Either it's going to be our head and neck position coming down to the laptop screen, or we're going to have to sacrifice our wrist position if we were to go ahead and bring the laptop up vertically. So I get it. This is not ideal. However, working from home may be not the ideal scenario for you either. So accordingly, what we do is we have to adapt. If my suggestion is this, if you're going to be doing a lot of viewing, maybe you're just on a call and you're not really doing a lot of typing, and that's all you're going to be doing that for that period of time, I would go ahead and bring your monitor up nice and tall. Now to do this, what you might do is you might grab a bunch of thick books and go ahead and just start, stacking them up nice and tall. I've got shoe boxes here. I've got old USP manuals. This type of stuff is perfect for being able to get this up nice and high. Now I'm tall, so you may need a heck of a lot more books and manuals in order to be able to make this the ideal version. In fact, even in this environment, it's still a little bit low for me, but you get the idea. You can make this work for yourself. Just keep stacking until you get the monitor up to the right height. Or if in this environment you're going to be doing a lot more typing, what you might do is you might bring the monitor down. Let's say there's a happy medium in between a fully upright monitor position and a completely on the desk laptop position. So maybe I'd bring my wrist to something like this position. So this angle here isn't as bad as when I had it way up high. So it's sort of finding a happy medium between the two. If you're going to be typing, that might be a way for you to be able to take some stress off the head and neck and take some stress off the wrist at the same time. So do the best you can. Recognize that this is not the ideal scenario. If you can, attempt to purchase a standing workstation. That would be the ideal version, because in a standing upright posture, there's no stress on the spinal cord. So energy can move very easily from the brain through the spine and then to the rest of the body. If you can do that, that's a great version. A lot of times people like using a exercise ball that they can then sit on to be able to have them maintain a stable, activated posture. I really like that option as well. That's another way of making this seated position, not so much that we're just hanging on our meat, but more of an active upright posture. And recognize, guys, you're going to alternate between a standing position, if you have that available, or a seated position. So I recommend somewhere between 60 up to 80% of the time you are actually standing, because that's a better position structurally. And then the rest of the time you'd then be in the seated posture. When you begin to fatigue standing, then you go ahead and sit. If you're sitting all the time and you begin to fatigue in this upright place, go ahead and get back up and stand. So I hope this helps you to prioritize some of the things. The good news these days is a lot of the standing desks on the market in price have come way down. You're probably looking at now maybe about $200 to $300 for a really nice standing desk. I know that there's also companies that have a desk that actually just sits on top of your existing desk and just sort of folds up, and that's another option. Those are usually between $50 and $100. So there's many ways to make this work. Ultimately, as you can see with my setup, if you DIY it, it doesn't even have to cost you anything, as long as you're willing to do a little bit of work. So I hope this helps you with getting your home workstation DIY'd into an ergonomic version. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, alignlifewell@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed the video today. If so, please give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.